Super clásico filipino, Fransisco Bustamante, enfrenta al mago Efrén Reyes a una carrera de 11 mesas en la modalidad de bola 9.
26.9 miles per hour. You know how hard he struck the break there? 27. I mean, I don't know anyone that breaks the ball 27 miles per hour.
Well, you do now.
Yeah, well, I knew that before he broke him. I don't know anyone else.
I think his strikes around 31 miles an hour. Wasn't that one of the top speeds?
I don't believe so. I mean, 31. Well, I just 31. 35. Do I hear 40? Give me 40. 40 over here.
I'll tell you what. I know one thing. If you can bottle this break, you can sell it just about in any pool room in the world.
Clawing his way back into this match because Reyes is the player who seems to have made all the noise, but Bustamante is only one game behind. After pocketing the 9, it'll be 5-4.
Now, and where he pulls that cue virtually out of his bridge hand.
But how does he generate the power that he does in his break?
Watch it. Just about pulls it right out of his bridge hand.
I think what he has in mind, the angle that he has, well, he looks like he's going to play the 1 over here and the cue ball somewhere down here. Yeah, he's going to, whoop, he got away from him all of a sudden, therefore. Look, he played that shot. He actually played the draw shot into that cluster to make that comment.
Left Reyes a chance.
And that's ideal for Reyes. Shooting the 1 to carry the natural angle for the 2. I think he's still going to do well with the shot. It's such an accurate shot. And hitting you with the perfect speed. Be careful and make sure he stays down on this shot. It's a very tricky shot. Well, he just softly rolls it in.
Well, Efrén has seen his 5-1 lead evaporate, and he wants to try and at least keep that 2-rack cushion. And he looks like doing just that. And this 9 will afford him the break off in rack. And while we've got a moment, I'd like to thank a couple unfolding here in Chesapeake. Rack number 11. And Reyes quickly with a couple off the break. That wing ball in.
Missing the 1, but not leaving Bustamante an easy shot. He's been left in. He control the cue ball for the 2. Well, he played a safety and finally finds himself scratching.
It's gonna be costly.
Anytime you give Reyes ball in hand, anytime.
Ground 7 near the 9. Looks like it passes O'Bill, and if it does, then everything is pretty much smooth.
Side leaks the 7 in the corner, providing it does pass the 9. So therefore, really not much work out there. Which I mentioned before, by the way. And the 7 will pass because he certainly played position for it. And it's very, wait a second, maybe it doesn't pass, and he played position for the billiard.
And the billiard successfully completed. The race to 11. The winners.
I'm a rack tracker. I'm a rack tracker. Remember track the count of the rack?
Efrén would like to have that one over again. Pocketing the 1 with which to go from the 2 to the 3. Let's see how he decides to do it.
Well, I don't really see a clear route from the 2 to 3 unless he wants to go underneath the 4. Unless he goes straight up.
And he's got to miss that 4.
Now watch how big the 6 ball becomes here. If he brushes it, he may end up in trouble, but he was able to stay clear of the 6, ending up in reasonable line on. Notice the spin. Look at it now. That's a stroke. That is really what you call a stroke there. This isn't easy either. He's got to be very careful here. He was able to clear of the 6. Bustamante's racks have been more complicated than Reyes.
Well, he's had to do more with the cue ball, hasn't he? He's had to work the more difficult finishes.
Yeah. Yeah. But this one he brought on himself. He's totally out of line here. The way he plays. Now he's going to have to softly draw it in. Now he's going 2 pushes using a super scope to get himself closer to the 9.
Yeah, what a great shot that was.
He's a resilient player. He's got such great shot-making skills. He can afford to get out of the line and recover as easily as he seems to have done there.
Fransisco trying to overhit it in golf.
Exactly. And, smart move. Power break, corner ball. Oh, once again scratching inside, this time with a kiss. Very, very unfortunate that he's found himself
in the side pocket like that.
And if you notice how nicely the balls are positioned on the table for Reyes, and that was the point I was trying to make before.
Less obstacles.
But that time it was 5. He looking to extend it even further to 8 to 5, and really don't foresee any problems here.
No, he could kick.
Now watch. This is.
No, that one wasn't a clean. Bustamante, I think, is somewhere around 35, 36 now. Efrén, sorry, Billy.
Go right ahead.
Efrén up this 9 now to go 8-5 in front. And there you go, right into your leg.
Bustamante not looking really happy about what's happening.
Surrounded by them. Well, there's a different break. Again, the cut break. He's trying to get that 9 moving.
Okay, forcing to go into the 2 and 3 and 9.
Geez, what an opening shot he played there.
Looks like that it does. Well, he's got to get an angle to play position for the 5, or he's playing in the right-hand side. He's right there, wide play position for another pocket. Now the ball seemed to be laying really nicely. And he earned it because he hit the shot well enough to separate the 2 from the cluster, open up the doors. This shot has to be hit with good speed control. Which you hit it with good speed. Ending up with just about an ideal area on the table.
He can finish with a flurry. Winning this rack, he'll pull him back to 8-6.
And when we're talking about a player like Bustamante, 8-6-7s, it is really large 7s because of the power of his break. He's such an explosive player. The next time Reyes comes back to the table, he could be trailing.
There hasn't been a lot of flow in this match because nobody's strung any racks together. And both of them are so capable. And 8-6 now confirmed. Let's see if
Bustamante is a pressure applier, and he would like to pick it up a little bit more. He broke him hard that time, pocketing the 7 on the break, getting a kiss down table off. Look, the doors opened up for the 1. Maybe that's a shooting shot that carries this much distance. He's going to need a good stroke, and I think it's going to help him pocket the 1. Oh, he stroked it, overstroked it, going into the 8. I didn't think he should. He's looking to bank the 4, the 2 cross side. You mentioned before he could bank.
Yeah, he wants to be banking the $30,000 at the end of the tournament. Reyes had to be thinking he was going to be getting out of his chair.
Oh, that's pure to the heart behind him. He already is.
Fransisco has started to show us a little bit of magic. Back to 8-7. This match always promised. When these 2 lock horns, you never know what you're going to get. The only certainty is you don't ever want to miss it.
Well, I'd say that we have a pretty good idea what we're going to get.
Rack number 16. And with control.
Pocketing 2 balls on the break, I do believe.
Seeing the angle that you have to cut it to make it.
So he spun it in, and he came back to the other side of the table. It was very power to get him back to the center of the table for position for the 3. When he's drawing back, playing position for the combination. Very wise decision. Top ball the 4. So he hit it in the fashion that he knew that for some reason has become the favorite in this match.
Did I say that no one had strung any together?
His ability to string racks because of the power of the break.
Lion and all the courage that is required to be a champion.
He certainly does have the heart of the line. Dayton, Ohio, they were playing for a considerable amount of money. Raced to 13. Archer ran 13 racks on him. Bustamante's response was, you want to double the bet?
Serving up a gem for us here at the 2003 U.S. Open 9-ball champion.
Watch the 9, watch the 9,
There's
9
the
in the
nine.
side, 9 in the side.
Yes, he says, bring it on. 500, and Fransisco goes in front with an exclamation point. A $500 bonus by pocketing that 9. Bustamante gets $500 from the Billiard Club Network. That's as a sponsorship bonus. And here they come,
I tell you
5
what,
crisp ones.
that certainly brings a smile to the player who pockets the 9, doesn't it? Look at the smile on his face.
Delighted. Now, 1 out of the way.
Making the 1 in the side, and it looks like he should have come up with some kind of a shot on the 2. Well, at least he could, because after 2 contacting the 7, the 2's got to end up on the bottom cushion somewhere. You know, he's allowed Reyes at the table with a shot on a 2. Good call, Jim.
And that doesn't look...
Just way behind the 4. But that's just the way he plays. Whoa, he really hit it thinly, didn't he? He didn't try to do that, I know that.
And now back to the main table. As I said, we'll keep you abreast of the score over there. But our focus is with Reyes and Bustamante.
Over the table, no congestion out there, nothing on the cushion. And looks like the Reyes is
going to bring the
top.
score to 9-9. So you know that back arm has to be a little cold.
Well, this is to say it's not feeling as loose as it was.
Nicely back out the middle of the table.
What's happening on that other table? No.
Well, I can tell you Pagulayan is at the table.
Meantime, Reyes is taking care of business, as usual, when given an opportunity. The entire match, finally finding himself 1 game behind for the first time, and now he's looking to tie it up. And he does.
And the 9.
Pagulayan is faced with a very difficult shot. And he does, pocketing a ball on the break. 1 ball, and the 2 ball will not pass the 5 as Reyes does as well. Okay, that's what I was saying. There really isn't a real good safety here. There wasn't much.
McCready and Alex Pagulayan.
I kind of like going behind the 5 with the cue ball here. That's really, I think, a good shot to shoot at this time because position on the 3 was kind of, he's massing around the 5 here. Not hitting it exactly the way that he wanted, but look how fortunate he got with this.
Like the 2 was available.
No, Reyes got very fortunate to have done what he did after contacting the 2 as poorly as he did, getting a very fortuitous. He doesn't want much movement from the 2 here. That's too much movement from the 2. And I do believe he gave Bustamante a backward cut to the side. And as thinly as Bustamante cuts balls, that didn't pose much of a problem.
No, you wouldn't have expected that error from Reyes. Not at that
What
juncture.
he didn't want to do, giving Bustamante a shot from the positions he was up to, was something hard going to jump right all over. It looks like that Bustamante is going to be the first player to reach the hill. And who would have thought that was going to happen watching the beginning of the match?
Nice. And very shortly, Fransisco is going to be looking for a big break. And what he hopes is going to be the last rack he plays. The 9 down.
The way he breaks the balls, he's probably a favorite to win the match. Right here. Okay, he pocketed 2 balls on the break. Oh, I don't believe he did that.
He played a billiard shot. Tried to
I
pocket
don't
the
believe.
7.
Look at the other shot. Watch out. That's the 7 on there. That's why he went for the billiard. That was the 7. I thought that was the 3.
Well, would you believe it? It looks very much like we're going to be treated to yet another 10-10 match between two great champions. Served up for us here tonight.
Exactly. And now I don't blame Bustamante for playing the billiard on the 7, because the 7 was not the 3, it was the 7, which made it the right shot. In the meantime, Reyes is looking to tie up the match at 10 apiece, and will have the advantage in breaking the balls in the final game.
And this 9 is going to provide us with more suspense. And there you go, another hit from Bustamante and Efrén Reyes. Now Bustamante hoping for a chance.
And Reyes broke them a lot harder than he normally breaks them. Or at least he broke them a lot harder than he's been breaking them.
Well, on Fransisco's face.
After missing the billiard on the 7, preceding rack giving him a chance to win the match, only to see Reyes run out.
The preceding rack where he tried to billiard the 7 could well come back to haunt him.
Reyes is in perfect line on the 3, keeping a nice angle for the side. I still think he's going to do well with it. 3, so he'll probably do that. Well, he's not taking any chances. Going backwards may create a problem here. Well, if you hit it that pure with that good speed, no problem.
Played beautifully, and the concession arrives. Fransisco doesn't need him to shoot the 9. Efrén